Hey guys, I just wanted to take it a little bit of a different angle, do something different for a while. Keeping up the Age of Sigmar stuff, keeping that going in the background. But as most wargamers, we flutter from project to project pretty quickly. And so this is just a different project that I wanted to work on. And my idea for the project, it's pretty straightforward. I just wanted two small near future forces based on one of my favourite video games, Frontline's Fuel of War, which is a sort of a near future combat game, kind of in the vein of Call of Duty, but it's more of a battlefield game. If you've played the two, you'll know the difference. And the game is set in a fictional war in the future between the Western Coalition and Red Star. The Western Coalition are sort of Europe, America combined, and the Red Star are sort of Russia and China. And they're basically fighting over oil and energy resources in the future. It's a pretty underrated game as far as I'm concerned. I'm not a big online gamer, so I can't say much for that, but I do enjoy the single player campaign. And because it's not scripted, because it's more of the battlefield way of doing things, where you have a big open map, you can approach a situation however you want, has a lot more replayability than Call of Duty. And I play Call of Duty to death. Whenever a Call of Duty comes out, I'll get it, and I will play through it 6 or 7 times. But what always bugs me about Call of Duty is there's that mission where you're stuck following someone and it has no replayability. It looks pretty, it's great, but it's only great the first time, and then after that it just sucks. It's so boring. So more of a fan of the battlefield kind of game. Frontlines, just happens to be probably, I don't know if it's my favourite FPS, but it's probably the FPS I've played more than any other FPS. So I just wanted to take that universe, near future war, and put it on the tabletop. And to do that, I was looking for rule sets, and I'm a big fan of sort of thinking about working with different war games mechanics. I think as far as wargaming goes, I enjoy the modelling, I enjoy gaming, but I'm a bit of a sad act, and what I for some reason enjoy more than any of it is just sitting and reading a rule book. So I've collected quite a few rule books in my time, and I just want to sort of play them off against each other, see how they fared in this setting, because it's near future, but still not too far near future. You can make a lot of different rule sets work for it, which I thought was pretty cool. So the idea was, with this project, was basically to have a setup, have 2 armies, and play the same scenario, but each time switch out the rulebook and see how each different rulebook, different set of rules, makes the scenario work. I've had a few ideas. I want to go for some pretty straightforward, obvious rule sets, throw in something weird from time to time, because it's modern, near future, modern, all the equipment they've got isn't too far off what we have today. So I've even thought about bringing in World War II rule sets, like Crossfire, Chain of Command, because as long as they have rules for assault rifles, they've always got rules for machine guns, like slightly more accurate anti-tank weaponry, what you're looking at, but pretty much any rule set from World War II to modern to sci-fi will work for this setting. So I should have lots of rule sets to get through. So I'll talk through the first 3 that I've picked out, the one I'm going to start with especially, and we'll go from there and just see what happens. So the first rule set I picked out was Imperial Commander. I got this from 15mm.co.uk quite a while back, and it's kind of the precursor to Warhammer 40,000, if you haven't heard of it. It's a bit more future than... I don't think it gives you a specific year, but it's a bit more future. It's far future. Like I said, it's Warhammer 40,000, essentially, that kind of time frame you're looking at. But if I go to the weapons table in the book, you see that they have standard weapons, basically, across the board. Probably not be using the laser weapons or bolters. That's where your bolters come in. Way back when. It gives you a year again that it was actually published, but way back when, bolt guns right here in Imperial Commander. Automatics, machine pistol, SMG, assault rifle, MG, launchers, grenade launchers, missile launchers, basically everything that I'm going to need. The rules are in here. Like close combat weapons, not so much. We're not going to be running more power swords because we're talking about near future, barely sci-fi, not actual sci-fi. So that's what I'll be looking at. Laser Burn Imperial Commander, which I've played a couple of times before. It's a lot of fun. So I'm looking forward to getting that down. Second rule set I've picked, Combat Zone, available from EM4 Miniatures. .co.uk or .com. It's a UK company, but I don't know if it's .co.uk or .com. This is more of a post-apocalyptic, not necessarily post-apocalyptic, not so much Mad Max as probably more Escape from New York, Escape from LA, that kind of situation. But yeah, again, a lot of fun. And although it's that post-apocalyptic, it has, you can see the kind of dude you got set up, sort of like high-tech police forces, which are basically near future regular soldiers, to be fair. Again, all the rules are here. And yeah, this one's slightly different in that it operates on an action point system. So you get a number of action points which dedicate to actions like moving, shooting. And it's a lot of fun. So Combat Zone, number 2. The third rule set that I've picked out for now, Use Me. I've had this one for a long time, about 5 or 6 years now. I got it almost as soon as it came out. Haven't actually played it yet, though. Read through the rulebook many a time, but haven't actually played a game with it. So yeah, so those are the 3 I've decided to start with. From there, who knows? Again, yeah, Chain of Command maybe from Two Fat Lardies could come into play. Again, it's World War II, but they've got STG 44s for the Germans, which is an assault rifle. So there's no reason why I can just apply those rules. I've been thinking about. I've got both Warhammer 40,000 2nd edition and 3rd edition, 5th edition, and even 6th edition. So as long as I pick the weapons and armor saves, I'd have to probably stat my own troops, but it wouldn't be too hard to do at all. Both of those rule sets. The rule set something about maybe Crossfire. I'll see if there's a modern variant on that. I've got Void upstairs, which I could use again. So yeah, so there's a lot of rule sets knocking around, and I just want to try them out, and hopefully find one that I like or use for future wargaming, or again find a few that I like just for different settings. So I'll show you the beginnings of the setup that I'm going to sort of play these games out on, and yeah, maybe the forces as well. So yeah, I'm just going to show you my table setup. You'll have to excuse the potentially awful camera work because at the moment my laptop's own built-in webcam is the camera. So let's start on the floor. Some shoes. So oh gosh, yeah, that's not. But you get the general idea. Okay, so we have simple village church in the middle of some woods. Let me switch. In this part of the table, I'm going to stick a farm area. I think this sort of section here is going to be just built up brush, and I like the idea of this being a full forest. In this part of the table, the one issue I'm finding at the minute, and I want to work out how to model it, is the church is there, but it has no graveyard. So maybe a graveyard extending this part, cutting off the forest, so it's just in this sort of back quarter of the board. The two forces I've got, these are the Red Star guys, which I think are Rebel British modern infantry, and those are the Coalition down this end, which I think are also Rebel but modern American forces. The whole lot was actually just thrown together today. I built the church. It's a model railway building, 1/72 scale, which I thought was pretty handy. The trees just came out of a bag of trees, which were then just glued onto washers, and I just painted the bottom of it green, which was extremely fast. The bushes, which I'm amazed how well they turned out, considering how easy they are to make. And I can't believe I've never made hedgerows this way before. It's just clump foliage glued to a lollipop stick. Paint a lollipop stick brown on the top and sides first, and then universal adhesive, not PVA, universal adhesive from Wilkinson's, which is a UK store, but like Yoo-hoo glue, you know. Let it go tacky, just let it sit for a few seconds so it goes tacky. Shovel the clump foliage on, let that sit for like another half a minute, then just pull all the excess off, and you get pretty awesome looking hedgerows. So that's the table. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to get this camera set up to actually film any games. Right now, as it stands, I'm just going to have a quick playthrough of Laserburn just so I remember it, and then I'll try and film a proper game and stick that up. So that's Battle of the Rulebooks, coming soon to this YouTube channel. Thanks for watching.